One of the questions we get asked most often, especially from people new to the channel, is how on earth can Andy survive on such a restricted diet? In this video, I'm going to answer that question. Hello folks, and welcome to something a little bit different from today's vlog. This one is very much a video for the new people. If you have been around on the channel for the last couple of years, you probably already know everything I'm going to discuss in this video. Feel free to watch along as usual and get involved in the comments as you usually would. But this really is a video targeted at people who are new to the channel, and there's a reason behind it. Over the last 3 or 4 days, this video, the morning routine video we made earlier in the month, has hit a little bit of momentum on YouTube. It's been appearing on a lot of recommended pages. We've been getting a lot of new viewers in via that video, which is great. It's one of my favourite videos that we've made in the last few months. I think it's a really, really cool video. But with an influx of new people who've never experienced before, don't know who we are, have never seen any of our stuff, there is always questions. And with this particular video, the most common question that is coming in a lot is, how on earth can you give him crisps and Dr. Pepper for breakfast? Or give him a healthy diet? Or words to that effect, which are completely reasonable comments from someone new to the channel who has no idea what Andy's diet and nutrition and dietitian situation is, because we don't explain it at all in that video. And in fact, as part of responding to comments, I tried to find a video where we just sit and explain it all in one go. And I don't think we ever have. It's sort of something that we've discussed in multiple videos over a long time because it's been an ongoing issue for so long. But I don't think there is a video anywhere on the channel that breaks down what he eats, why he eats it, how it's varied over time, and what we're doing about it and what our plans for the future are. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. If you are one of those people who are new to the channel off the back of the morning routine video and you've ended up here, because I will be linking to it on that video, if you've made it to video 2, it's probably time to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn notifications on, leave thumbs ups, all that kind of stuff. And let's get into discussing this diet situation. So let's kick things off with a May 2019 version of exactly what Andy is currently eating, what the breakdown of his daily diet is. And he actually went to see his dietitian last week, and as of right now, she's delighted with this current diet, the balance of it, the macronutrient breakdown of it. It's not the most varied diet in the world, but it is something that he could survive on for the rest of his life. He gets all of the macros that he needs, as shown in this little thing taken off MyFitnessPal that I made up to show to the dietitian. He gets his correct split of macros. He doesn't get all of the vitamins and whatnot that he needs out of his diet alone, but he does take a vitamin supplement that he has as part of the Rice Krispies and custard cereal combo that he eats at school. He has a couple of spoons of something called Ceravit, which gives him his vitamin breakdown. So as of right now, and I am very much touching wood as I say this, it's been a very long road to get to this point. He's 15 now, and this is probably the last 6 weeks or so have been the first time in his life where he's had a fully balanced diet. But as of right now, it is balanced in terms of macros and in terms of vitamins, minerals. Yes, it's not got any fruit and veg in it. Yes, it doesn't have any meat and whatnot, and no obvious protein sources in it, but he does get protein from all the other stuff, as we saw from the diagram before. So his current diet, it's still largely salt and vinegar, Walker's crisps. They have to be salt and vinegar. They have to be Walker's. If they're not salt and vinegar or not Walker's, he just won't eat them. He did used to eat cheese and onion flavour French fries, but decided one day that actually I prefer salt and vinegar Walkers, and he just switched. If the packets change at all, it causes problems. We had a big issue about 2 years ago now where they changed the barcode on the back of the packs, and he now will no longer eat them out of the bag. He'll only eat them off of a plate because the bag still upsets him. So he gets them out of the bag, empties them onto a plate, bag straight in the bin, out of sight, and then he'll eat them. But he has to check that they are Walkers first, because we've tried switching them up to cheaper brands. We even tried putting the Tesco's own brand version of salt and vinegar crisps into Walker's bags and handing them to him. He was wise to that immediately, and now he'll only take them in sealed bags. He won't let us open a bag and hand it to him because he assumes we've messed with it if we do that, because we've messed with it in the past by trying to put cheaper crisps in there to try and save some money. He's very good at identifying when we try and save some money and nipping that in the bud. So he probably eats on a daily basis. It varies between maybe 8 bags all the way up to 15, 16 bags, like little 25-gram bags, depending on what else he's had during the day, depending on where he is, how active his day is, because his diet does vary a little bit depending on where he is geographically. He has a different diet at home to what he has at school, to what he has at his respite care, to what he has if we have a day out. It gets complicated, but it will vary somewhere in that kind of range of salt and vinegar Walker's crisps, and that's been his staple for getting on for 10 years now. It wasn't always that. Like I say, it used to be cheese and onion french fries. He used to eat chocolate digestive biscuits. He used to drink milk out of a baby's bottle up until he was like 7 or 8 years old. All that stuff has gone, and there have been times, a lot of times in recent years, where salt and vinegar crisps have been literally the only thing he'll eat. And that obviously isn't balanced at all and does cause problems. The big change that he's made recently, though, in the last 6 or 8 weeks, is that he started eating toast with butter. So just normal toasted bread with proper butter. So he's getting a lot of protein out of the bread, a lot of protein out of the butter. He has been known to eat an entire loaf of bread in one day, only like 2 or 3 times. But sometimes if he gets a taste for toast that day, he'll just go all in on toast and just eat that, like slice after slice after slice after slice. He'll have 6 or 8 in a sitting and then do it again later in the day. Like I say, he's only done it a few times, but he's been known to do it. And if you've seen us make toast in his videos, you'll see we do put the butter on very thick. There's been a few comments about that. Oh, you put so much butter on there, he's a heart attack waiting to happen. No, he isn't. He's a kid who's been very close to underweight for the last 15 years and has never had anything resembling butter in his diet before. It has a whole load of nutrients and vitamins in like real butter. We're not talking margarine or butter-like spread. It's proper butter, which, yes, it's got a lot of fat in, but that's not a big deal for someone who's closer to underweight than overweight. It also has a lot of nutrients in from the milk and stuff that it came from. The dietitian was very clear with us. Do not switch him to any other kind of spread. Do not use margarine. If he'll eat butter, for goodness sake, give him real butter, because it is good for him, even if he's eaten a lot of it. If in a year's time he's 30 pounds overweight because of it, then we'll worry about it then. But at the moment, that seems like the most unlikely scenario we could possibly imagine. So for now, it's toast with butter, and that's made a massive difference to his diet, because bread has a lot more protein in than we realised it did. So that's a huge difference maker. On top of that, he'll sometimes have some chocolate, which again, the dietitian is delighted about, because chocolate has a good variety of nutrients in. It's got the milk in, it's got the calcium, the protein. So the dietitian is all for him eating chocolate. She's not worried about him having too much sugar, like some people are, because again, he doesn't have enough calories in his diet, or hasn't done. He is at the moment, but historically, the issue has been getting him to eat enough. If we can get him to eat anything at all, that's a good thing. And this isn't us figuring this out for ourselves. This has all been working with a dietitian, with a professional. His dietitian, his paediatrician. It's been like a multi-person team of professionals working on this plan and getting to this point. So we know this is the right thing to be doing. But he'll eat chocolate, but only in certain forms. He likes chocolate breakaway biscuits, like a little biscuit with chocolate over it. But he tends to just like eat the chocolate off of it and not always eat the whole biscuit, which again is an expensive way to get some chocolate into him. An 8-pack of breakaways is like £1.20, I think, off the top of my head. And if he'll sit and eat the whole 8-pack in one go, because he doesn't eat all of each biscuit. He'll bite the end off each biscuit where the chocolate is and then throw them away if we don't keep an eye on him. So he'll have like 16 little nibbles of chocolate for £1.20, then chuck them in the bin and want more the next day. So we have to be quite careful with how we give him those and make sure he is eating the whole biscuit before he moves on to the next one. Again, for money, if we let him do everything his own way, we'd be bankrupt in no time, because he has expensive tastes. The other way he'll eat chocolate is in the form of Easter eggs, but we can't hand him an Easter egg and he'll eat it. It has to be smashed up. If we smash up an Easter egg for him into little bits, he'll then eat it, but he won't eat any chocolate that's thicker than that. He won't eat the little animal bars that are also thin like Easter eggs. It has to be Cadbury's Dairy Milk Easter egg smashed up into little pieces, and then he'll eat it. But only when he feels like it. If you offer it to him, he probably won't have it, but sometimes he'll just ask for it, and he's been known to eat an entire big Easter egg in one sitting before. Again, if he's hungry enough. When it comes to what he drinks, drink has always been an issue for him. He has, since he was very small, been drinking fizzy drinks because he insisted. He forced it through, and I mean, like, properly forced it through. When he was very small, he used to drink milk out of a bottle, he used to drink water, he used to drink the little fruit shoots, fruit drinks. But he had his first taste of fizzy pop when he was relatively young. It wasn't Anna who gave it to him. It was somebody else. But he had his first sip of fizzy pop when he was very young, like 4 or 5 years old, and just got a taste for it and decided that's what he was going to drink from now on. And we have, again, working with the dietitian, working with the paediatrician, tried to get him off it before. We had a weekend where, again, on dietitian's advice, we were told to withdraw the fizzy pop for the entire weekend. Just don't let him have it. When he gets thirsty, he'll drink. It turns out Andy had different ideas, and we did withhold the fizzy pop for him for an entire weekend. And on Sunday afternoon, he was admitted to hospital dehydrated because he'd refused to drink anything at all for 2 days. And their solution to it was go and get him a can of Coke out of the vending machine. He drank the can of Coke. He was fine. They sent him home. But yeah, there's just no way to get him off it. He won't have it. He will drink fizzy pop. So working with his dentist, we've kind of got to the best case version of him drinking fizzy pop. So he has, as his primary drink, caffeine-free Diet Coke. So yes, I know it's got all the sweeteners and chemicals and stuff in. We are aware of that. We know it's not ideal, but the alternative is him not drinking at all. And as far as I'm concerned, him drinking anything is better than him drinking nothing, because not drinking will kill him a lot faster than these chemicals will. It's often a case of picking the lesser of two evils with Andy and his diet. Caffeine-free Diet Coke, so it doesn't have any sugar in, it doesn't have any caffeine in, so it doesn't mess up his sleep routines, which some of the other fizzy drinks can and have in the past. It's not going to completely overload him with sugar. He's quite flexible about what fizzy drinks he'll drink. As long as it tastes sweet and it's fizzy, and it's the darker ones, he'll generally drink it. He doesn't like things like orange pop or lemonade and stuff like that. But he'll drink any variety of cola, apart from supermarket own brands. Like I say, he's got expensive tastes, but he's not bothered if it's Coke or Pepsi or Dr. Pepper. I've even seen him have a Vimto on occasions. He's not bothered if it's cherry Coke or mango Coke or the one with lemon and lime in, or any of these weird and wonderful flavours. Coke Zero, Dr. Pepper Zero, Diet Pepsi, Pepsi Max. He'll have any of them. He's not bothered. But as soon as we try and get him a supermarket own brand, so like a brand he's not seen advertised on TV, I guess, something he's not familiar with, I think he's just reluctant to try it, and so he just decides he won't. And if it's the wrong colour, so if it's clear or if it's orange or if it's green or blue or whatever other colours these liquids might be, he won't touch it. It has to be the sort of really dark brown, black Coke style liquid. It has to be fizzy. It has to be sweet. Usually it has to be room temperature. He's not keen on it being cold. If we give him a really cold one, he'll usually let it warm up to room temperature. He's not bothered if it goes flat over the course of the day. I've seen him open a can of Coke in the morning before, leave it and come back to it in the afternoon, like 3 or 4 hours later, which I just couldn't. If I open a can, I have to drink that can before it starts to go flat and warm. He's kind of the opposite. He will drink it all, and he doesn't mind if it's gone really warm, really flat. He knows it's his drink, so he'll drink it. I would say he can easily get through like 50 cans of caffeine-free Diet Coke in a week. Does that seem right? How much is that? I need to do some maths. Calculator time. So they're 330 millilitres each, times 50, divided by 7. So that works out just over 2 litres of liquids a day. So yeah, that does sound right. So somewhere between probably 45 and 50 cans a week of caffeine-free Diet Coke. And then once a day, he gets a can of Dr. Pepper, and he has it in the morning. And the Dr. Pepper is a bribe, because his medication, his daily medication, is fluoxetine. He hates, he despises it. He refused to take it when we first started giving it to him. And the only way we could convince him to take it was, right, swallow that quickly, then you can have a Dr. Pepper. Because Dr. Pepper, because at this point we'd spent years weaning him off of the sugary drinks, but he really wanted them still. So our bribe, our deal that we came to was, if you take your medicine and you swallow it, you can then have 1 can of Dr. Pepper. And that's his reward, and he has his medicine, Dr. Pepper straight in, and then he'll drink that Dr. Pepper as well. And it's the only way to get the medicine in him. Again, we've spoken to the dietitian, the paediatrician, the dentist. They're all aware that we do that. He cleans his teeth after he's had the Dr. Pepper. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than him not taking the medication. So again, picking the lesser of two evils. It's obviously not the ideal diet. In an ideal world, we want him to have a traditionally balanced diet full of vegetables and whole grains and protein sources and stuff like that. But it's self-restricted. He refuses. If we try and vary from it, he has no issue at all with starving himself or dehydrating himself. We've seen him do it many times in the past when we've pushed too hard. We do always get him to try a little bit of our meals. Whenever we eat anything, we'll get him to have a little try. Sometimes it'll be a little lick, sometimes it'll be a tiny little nibble. He does cookery and stuff at school where he handles food regularly. He's not as, I don't know if afraid is the right word, he's not as anxious about other foods as he used to be. So there was a time where he just wouldn't go near other foods. Now he's happy to handle it. He's happy to touch it. He's happy to look at it. He's happy for it to touch his lips, touch his tongue. But he's got no interest in eating it. So I'm hoping the fact we're slowly making progress with sort of acclimatizing him to other foods will mean that eventually he might just pick up something else that he wants to eat. That's kind of how toast happened. He just randomly decided he wanted to eat it one day because it was around him enough. And he's done that with a lot of things over the years. He had a spell where he was eating a lot of crumpets with butter. He had a spell where he's eating a lot of potato waffles, but he doesn't touch them at all anymore. He's kind of replaced them with the toast, which the dietitian says is better. So we're happy for that change. He did have a spell where he was eating Rice Krispies with custard at home. He won't touch it with us now. If we give it to him, he won't have it at all. But we still send Rice Krispies and custard into school because he'll eat it there, but nowhere else. He won't eat it at his respite. He won't eat it at home, but he does eat it there, and that's where they get the vitamin supplement into him because they mix it in with the custard. So that's great during school time. It's a bit of an issue during like the 6-week summer holidays where we are going to struggle to get the vitamin supplement into him. We've had the discussion with the dietitian. She said, yes, it's not ideal, but it's all about picking your battles. What we don't want to do is try and give it to him mixed in with his drink and have him put off his drink. And again, this is all stuff that we've discussed and agreed on. We did try mixing the vitamin supplement with water and giving it to him like medicine, and he just threw up everywhere. He wasn't having any of it. And that's the thing that I think people need to understand, that I think some people struggle to understand. It's not us being soft as parents. It's understanding Andy and understanding how committed to something he is, and how there is no forcing him to do something that he doesn't want to do. If he doesn't want to eat a banana, I mean, and this applies to anybody, if someone really doesn't want to eat a banana, you can't force them to eat a banana. You know, and that's the situation we're in with him. We offer him other foods all the time, and he'll sometimes try them, he sometimes won't, but we can't force him to do it. So for us, the priority is making sure that he eats enough food, as balanced as we can make it, with enough supplements as we can get in there. But it's all about doing what's best for Andy, not what's necessarily best as defined by the big book of best diets for kids and stuff like that, because that's not the parameters we're working in. We need to do what's best for Andy. And considering this time last year he was so dangerously underweight that they were talking about tube feeding him, which this is the kid who won't eat own brand crisps. If you try and tube feed him, he's ripping that tube out. And we had this conversation with the paediatrician, and she eventually just put a ruling in place of tube feeding is not and will never be an option for him because of the damage he'll do to himself with it, because he will just rip it out. And she said, those things are hard to rip out. He'll do some serious damage ripping it out, but he will rip it out. So, I mean, there was talk of him going into hospital under sedation on a feeding tube, and we obviously don't want that. If the alternative is between him eating a load of crisps and, yeah, it's not ideal, it's expensive, but he's at a healthy weight now, he looks healthier than he's ever looked before, and he's not on a feeding tube, he's not under sedation in hospital, then obviously everyone involved is doing something right. We'll always strive for better, but at the same time, what we've got at the moment is the best it's ever been, and that's worth celebrating. So I know that's been quite a long-winded way to answer quite a simple question. That's why I wanted to do it as a standalone video. But that is why he has crisps and Dr. Pepper for breakfast, and why we send him to school with crisps and some pop, which is something that's in one of our other bigger videos that people always ask about. So that's why his diet is as restricted as it is, because it's the only way to get him to eat anything at all. We are all working on it, but let's not forget, it's the best it's ever been right now. So hopefully that has helped some of you out and answered a question that I know a lot of people have, and hopefully you have enjoyed the video as well. If you have, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for more daily vlogs. And thank you very much for watching.